Legendary content is now easy in the Division 2. All you have to do is max out your seasonal journey, get these specific passive modifiers, and add them with this build, and you are good to go. If you don't believe me, just look at this. Come on. Let's see the numbers. Yeah, I think I got all the loot. I'm loving the movement speed with the modifiers, everything. Like, these modifiers, it's crazy. All right, there we go. Mission complete. Legendary capital with one directive. Hey, just got my weekly done. GG's, GG's. Let's see the in-game results here. Yep, GG's everybody. Come on, show me the numbers. I know I was doing some crazy numbers with the status, man. Crazy numbers. Come on with the pop-ups. Show me. Show me the money. Show me the money. There we go. Yo, 1.9 billion damage. 63 kills. Oh, man. Put this build together right now. Woo! That's right. 1.9 billion damage. And that was just randomly match made with random people. We were not talking on mics or anything at all. And we just steamrolled through Capital Building on Legendary with directives active. Now, the cool thing about that is it's amazing everywhere, this build. I showed it during the PTS, and now I have it in the live game, and it's even better in the live game than I thought it would be. So much so that I'm doing District Union Arena, Roosevelt Island, all of these legendaries non-stop. So if you see me in one of these matchmaking sessions, just say what's up and enjoy the festivities, because this is ridiculous. The status effects, the explosions, the pestilence, it's ticking off every box you want and more. And these passive modifiers, along with this one active modifier, man, does it really help you out in legendary content. Again, this makes legendary content easy. Here we go. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now, shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. And in today's build video, I'm going to bring to you a status effects build featuring the Pestilence that you can use in any legendary situation and get out of it victorious. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But how I do my build videos is I will do the build breakdown first to show you how the build is put together. And then after that, I will show you all of the gameplay to show you how the build actually works. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go ahead and jump into the build breakdown. Now, this is really the exact same replica that I made in the PTS. Now, this is on my main account. So now we are on Xbox, and I have all my expertise and all my goodies along with me. Now, this build is not fully maxed out, meaning the expertise is not max on anything except for my Pestilence. I had to max it out. I'm sorry. This thing is a beast. The Pestilence is probably one of the best weapons in the game. I keep saying that because it's true. You have to put the Pestilence on. It's truly a meta. Now, we're getting a little carried away here. Let's start off at the top. So the specialization is required for this build setup. Usually, I would like to make it optional for you. That way you could tweak it to your playstyle. But in this specific build, you have to use the demo. So the Demolitionist, what that does is it increases your explosive damage. So if we jump over to our stats and let me see. Oh, it's at the bottom of the offensive. There we go. So with this build combination, we're sitting at 45% explosive damage. Now this is on purpose to increase our concussion grenade. Not only that, but we are relying on our seeker minds. Now, sometimes these seeker minds piss me off because the NPCs will do like this weird hardcore parkour, like combat roll and dodge it over and over and over. However, because you're throwing out so many cluster seeker minds, they're bound to blow them up. Or sometimes the NPCs will like combat roll into each other and then they get hit with both of the seeker minds. It's pretty funny. Regardless, you are relying on your seeker mind. So to increase that seeker mine damage, we're increasing our explosive damage. On top of that, it increases the damage to the concussion grenade. So our concussion grenade is actually at 2 million damage. That's ridiculously strong compared to a normal run and gun build. Now, this 2 million damage directly affects your vial mask. So going to your vial mask, and you can see how everything in your build works together in perfect synergy. So your vial mask comes with the talent toxic delivery. So applying a status effect, you deal a damage over time debuff. Now that damage is equal to half of your concussion grenade, where typically people might have like a 1.2 or a 1.4 million damage concussion. I have a 2 million concussion. So that means that bare minimum, I am doing 1 million damage just from the vial mask as a bare minimum. But wait, there's more, because at the end of this talent, it says that not only is it equal to half of your concussion damage, but it's also increased by the amount of status effects you have on the build. So you can see right here, we have status on the mask. We have status on the backpack, on the gloves, on the knee pads, on the holster, and guess what? We have it on the chest piece. Now, not only that, but running 3 pieces of China Light Industry, you also get status effects from the 3-piece bonus at 25%. So we're sitting at 60% with status rolled on everything on the build, and then we get another 25% just from the China Light brand set bonus. Pretty cool, right? So not only that, we are dealing damage with our vial, we are dealing extra explosive damage with our seeker, but with the new modifiers, and this is pretty big. So whenever I go from specialization, I have to go to modifiers now for some of these builds. The reason being is that this build is ridiculously strong because of the modifiers. So starting at the top with the global modifier, we get overcharge whenever we max out the rogue momentum. You're going to max out your rogue momentum during whatever encounter you're doing, because the more kills you get, the more momentum you get, the more it progresses, and well, you're going to get to max. Now what max does is it overcharges your skills, right? So what I do is I use the scanner pulse and I use the clusters, right? So the scanner pulse at overcharge, right? It gives you a 200% effect duration and the talent weakness exploit. So you and your allies get an amplified amount of damage to that pulsed enemy by 15%. So now we're doing extra damage just from our pulse. But there's more. I know, I keep saying that, but it's true. So the scanner pulse is now going to amplify our damage. That is to everything. Our skills, our status, our pestilence, all of it, okay? On top of that, with my other modifiers, I am running Reaper Scan. That makes that gives a 25% chance of converting a normal enemy into a blacklist marked enemy. And I paired that up with microwave coils. So every time I pulse that same enemy, I am also burning them. And that goes up to 4 enemies before my active modifier. Now, the reason why I went straight for these 2 is because I wanted to show you that that's just from my scanner pulse. So the rogue momentum overcharges my scanner pulse, which amplifies my damage. I am popping microwave coils with that pulse that also burns them with all of my status effects and vial mask. And I have Reaper Scan on here, which turns them into blacklist enemies. So if they're a blacklist marked enemy, they give you more momentum when you kill them. So if I'm marking them more and more and I'm taking them out more and more, that's going to keep my rogue momentum maxed out. And that will keep my skills overcharged. So then I'm constantly amplifying our damage with the scanner pulse, and I'm constantly making them blacklisted enemies. But there's more, because now you're able to run explosive amp. And this makes your seeker mines deal double the damage to those blacklisted enemies. So I scan them with the Reaper scan, I make them blacklisted, and then I use my seeker mine that deals double the damage to blacklisted enemies. And you can see how ridiculously strong this is getting. And yes, there's more. Because with the active modifier, this is called tactical supremacy. So tactical supremacy, it won't allow you to gain momentum while it's active. But you don't care about that, right? Because you're already making them blacklisted and you're already maxing out your momentum regardless. So you're not, trying to use anything to up your momentum anymore because you already know it's going to be maxed out. So what you're doing is you're using tactical supremacy. Now this doubles the effects by 100%. And you can see on the right where it says granted bonuses for 15 seconds, all passive modifiers effects are increased by 100%. And those are all highlighted text with orange text. Okay. So if you go to the Reaper scan, the orange text, 25% chance of receiving a blacklist mark. So that goes into 50%. The microwave burn coils up to 4 enemies, that goes to up to 8 enemies, right? Now, you're not going to gain any momentum from that burn because you are using the tactical supremacy where no momentum is gained at that time. However, now you're going to burn up to 8 enemies at a time while making half of them blacklisted. You see where I'm going here? This is ridiculously strong. This season is such a strong season for the player. This is going to make legendary content easy. And finally, the orange text, right? The Seeker Mine deals double the damage. Well, with the active modifier, wouldn't that turn it into quadruple the damage? So what you're doing is you're making them blacklisted and you're quadrupling your damage. Where this Seeker Mine, my clusters, would typically hit around, I don't know, like 2 million damage, something like that. 1 million to 2 million, something like that. With this activated, it goes up to 8 million. And you can see that just at the targeting range. It's that strong. Not only that, but because of the microwave coils and turning them into blacklisted enemies, just by using my scanner pulse and my vial mask, I'm doing well over 150 to 160,000 damage per second just with the mask. And that's before I'm even using the build. That's just with scanning the enemy, right? It's crazy. And we haven't even talked about the build yet. So that's the specialization and the modifiers, right? The weapons. I'm only using the Pestilence. I'm not using my secondary or sidearm, so you can change it to whatever it is you want. But for reference, I am using the Slayer as my secondary. This is the holiday event named item that is still available, by the way, through the Loot Goblin. If you didn't know, now you know. And my sidearm, just for reference, is the backup boomstick with preservation. But the star of the show, the Mamma Jamma, is the Pestilence. Now, yes, mine is fully maxed out. I went ahead and made sure to max this out the second I could, so it's at expertise 28. With that being said, we're sitting at 81k total damage, with damage to armor as that bottom attribute, and Plague of the Outcast. So, Plague of the Outcast, what this does is it deals yet another damage over time debuff. Except for this one is not based off of status effects or explosives damage, nothing like that. This one is based purely on weapon damage and only weapon damage. So you can increase that by using talents like Glass Cannon. You can increase that with damage to armor or damage to targets at a cover. But basically, anything that would up your weapon damage would up the damage over time debuff for this Pestilence. Now, the other cool thing is that whenever you kill an enemy with this debuff active, 100% of those stacks will transfer to another enemy within 25 meters. So with that, you are doing status effects, you're making them explode, you are scanning them, making them burn, while activating your Vile Mask and shooting them with a Pestilence. You can see how, I'm telling you, this thing's crazy. It'll put a smile on your face once you see the damage numbers never stop. Like, if you have the combat scroll for your damage numbers, they never stop. Like, you're pulsing them, you're throwing Seeker Mines, you're shooting them. Your damage numbers are just the whole time. It's pretty crazy. And that's how I got nearly 2 billion damage just joining a capital run. Just crazy. Now, for the rest of this build, right? So we already talked about the Vile Mask and how that works with the Toxic Delivery. Now, as far as the details here, it does come with a skill tier for that core attribute. It comes with status and hazard. We're using the status. Don't really care for the hazard that much, but it is okay, I guess. And we do have a skill haste mod on here as well. Looking at the China Light, because we do have 3 pieces of China Light, we are using the backpack and chest piece because in combination we have Creeping Death and Glass Cannon. So Glass Cannon amplifies the damage while Creeping Death will spread the damage. So starting with the backpack, here's the China Light Industries bag. We have 3 pieces of China Light, so the brand set bonuses for this build, we get explosives damage, skill haste, and status effects. For the attributes, everything is skill tier on the build, so we have a skill tier for the core attribute, status effects, and skill damage with a skill haste mod. So what this does is the status effects helps out our pulse and Vile Mask, while the skill damage helps out our Seeker Mines. And then Creeping Death, this one does have a cooldown 15 seconds. However, every time you apply that status effects, all enemies within 8 meters of each other will then, get that status effect. Pretty cool. The cooldown 15 seconds. What's my pulse cooldown? 11 seconds. But the duration on the pulse is 19. So even if I wait for the duration to go away for the scan to scan them again and make them burn, I will already have the Creeping Death back. Pretty cool. The other piece, the chest piece with Glass Cannon, like I said, that amplifies all the damage you deal. So this helps out the Vile. It helps out everything, right? Now, as far as the attributes, again, skill haste for the core, skill tier for the core, skill haste for the mod with status effects and skill damage rolled as the attributes. Finally, the holster, again, skill damage, status effects for the attributes with skill tier for that core. And we're going to jump over to the 2 harder items to put together. The reason why I'm saying these are the harder pieces to put together is because it's Grupo Sombra, but they're all yellows. And that's not easy to find because Grupo typically drops with all reds. So you have to find a Grupo pair of gloves and knee pads or whatever you can with skill damage and status effects as the attributes. That way you can change that core to a skill tier. Now, the reason why we are using Grupo is because the 2-piece Grupo bonus gives us 20% explosives damage. That's more than the China Light, so we want to use that. We also get crit damage. I mean, I guess that's all right. I don't really care for it, but not for this build. But the explosives damage is where it's at. So skill damage status with skill tier, good to go. And then same thing applies for the knee pad, skill damage status, skill tier. All right. That is the build, my friends. As far as the skills, again, I am using the scanner. Reason being is it scans them, it turns them into blacklist marked enemies, and it burns them while revealing their location. Not only that, but with the with the overcharge that we get from the Rogue Momentum global modifier, we also get that weakness exploit talent that amplifies all of our damage to pulsed enemies. The other skill I am using, Cluster Seeker Mines. Now I am using this on purpose because with overcharge you get another 8 clusters. You get more radius of 100% and more damage. However, not only that, but you get to hit multiple enemies at the same time. Like I was saying earlier with my example, sometimes the enemies like to combat roll into each other, and then 2 of these seekers will hit both of those enemies. It's pretty much a guaranteed one-hit kill. And whenever they're blacklisted, forget about it. It is a guaranteed one-hit kill. What I like to do is I like to pop the Tactical Supremacy, then pop my Pulse, which would then burn and make half of them blacklist marked. And then I would throw out my Seekers. So then my Seekers deal all of that extra damage to all of those enemies. And just by chance they roll into each other, then you can double up or triple up that damage. It's ridiculously fun. Now, finishing up with the stats, this is for the Pestilence. We're sitting at 81k weapon damage, 10% crit chance, 58 crit damage, and 85 headshot, with 6 armor damage, and then that damage to targets at a cover. All basic numbers because this is a skill build. However, I am at max expertise on this bad boy, so when it goes to offensive tab, we're sitting at 38% all weapons damage bonus and 30% LMG damage bonus. So even with a all yellow skill build, we're still sitting at 68% damage bonus total. For the gear talents, we also have Creeping Death and amplifying our damage with Glass Cannon. For the defensive tab, we are over 800k armor. We're at 818, and we're sitting at max health at 363. Looking at the explosive resistance, that's at 10%, but that's due to my watch level. So let's go ahead and jump to that disclaimer for all my build videos. I am sitting at watch level 12,411. That means all these boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. And now you can copy and paste my build if you are at or above shade level 1000, and you'll get the exact same numbers and results. It's really that simple. And in fact, if you expertise upgrade your items further than I did, you'll get even better numbers. That's the fun part about this. However, if you're below shade level 1000, you go to copy and paste my build, some of these numbers are not going to be maxed out, and then therefore some of your numbers on your build are not going to be maxed out. It's okay, don't freak out. It just means your character's not min-maxed. It's all right. It's not a big deal. The big deal is putting the build together and then getting all of those extra bonuses just help you out even further. But putting the build together is going to be your biggest hurdle, and then you're good to go, I promise you. It doesn't really matter what shade level you are. It's all about the build. So I showed you the specialization, the mods, the weapons, and the setup. Let me go ahead and show you how it works, and then we'll jump over to that gameplay. Now, if you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up. Support the channel. I do daily Division content, so ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division upload. And here we are at the targeting range. So check this out, right? So like I said, what I would do, Tactical Supremacy, active, right? But we have to wait for the cooldown. We just entered combat. So let me show you the numbers before Tactical Supremacy. All right? Now, the first one to look at is blacklisted enemies. None of these are blacklisted enemies, right? Check this out. You see how now 3 of them are blacklisted. And that's because of the Reaper scan. Now, with the tactical, you can see how I'm killing the enemies just with my scanner pulse, right? Now, with the Tactical Supremacy active, that's going to go even further. So check this one out. Reset everything. All right. None of these are blacklisted enemies. Nope. No one's blacklisted. Here we go. Oh, crap. I forgot to enable the tactical. My bad. My bad. And it actually made none of them blacklisted, so that works for my Tactical Supremacy here in a second. There we go. All right. Pop your Tactical Supremacy. Hey! Now do it. There we go. And you can see half of these enemies are blacklisted, and they are all burning and dying. And then what I would do is just throw out one thing of Seekers. And you can see I just hit at 8.5 million. That's crazy. That went 2, 5, and 8. So I just showed you a 2 million, a 5 million, and an 8 million at the same time with those Seekers. And that's how you're taking out multiple enemies at the same time. So what I was saying with the damage numbers never stop. So check this out. I can even show you that here in the targeting range before we get into the legendary content. And then for the legendary content, what I do is I randomly match made for Capitol Building to do my weekly, and you'll see what happens after that. All right, here we go. So I'm going to just show you how the damage numbers never stop. So check this out. Pulse, Seekers, shoot. You see how the damage numbers never stop and it like glitches out? It glitched out the damage numbers. You see? Do it again. And it glitches out the damage numbers every time. See this? And then it goes up, and then it's glitched out. Oh, the damage numbers are way up there. Did you see that? That was pretty funny. All right, here's Tactical Supremacy. Watch this. Look at these damage numbers. This is just ridiculous. And then let's see if we can... Oh, the damage numbers were way up there. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's pretty cool. All right. But enough about this whole targeting range thing. Let's see the build in action. So I'm going to show you some highlights of our Capitol Building run. I'll show you the whole thing, including the in-mission reports that I already spoiled at the beginning. But if you missed that, well, you're in for a doozy. Here we go. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you found this build breakdown helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, please hit that thumbs up. Support the channel by subscribing and shout out where you're from. But enjoy the gameplay. Peace out. Roll that footage. Come on. Pulse out. Yo, they're all on fire. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. Burn, baby, burn. And then you have these tanky. Here we go. Bye-bye. Pulse again here in a second. Boom. Alright. Looks like there are 2 left. Yo, is that it? Really? Just the 2 left? Yo, we went through all of them. That couldn't have been all of them, could it? Alright, I'll have this grenade just in case. No, I think that's the last enemy. They would have spawned by now. Yo, legendary is easy. Let's go. Ouchie, ouchie, wawa. You guys ready? Run. Look at that, man. And they're all on fire, dude. I'm loving it so much. I am loving it so much. We are just flying through this. This is making legendary so much easier. It's crowd control on a whole nother level. Alright, moving in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think I've had hit markers the entire time. Nice. Keep it going. Keep it going. Pulse out. Oop. Oh, yeah. You can't get the dogs on fire. Okay. This might not have been the best idea against the doggies. Alright. That might be the one downfall. Ouch! Man, they're trying. We are in a good spot, though. Had to bring out the boomstick. Yeah, hit that tactical supremacy. Woo! Look at them. All those hit markers. Let's go. Yeah, this is good. Good spot. And I'm getting all my stacks up on the Pestilence. Hey, look at that. We're just chilling, man. GG's. Very good. Making this a cakewalk. I just randomly match made into this. Woo! But then again, we are doing hella damage. I can't wait to see the end damage on this. Oh, man. We just fully completed that journey. Keep it going. Keep it going. We're doing well. And we just sat here at the gate, basically. Oh, that's like all of them. Oh. Yeah. Look at that. No, those are just healer boxes. GG's. Yo, we just sat at the gate. That was very good. We just sat at the gate, we caught them all on status effects and just took them out one at, like, that was super easy. That was ridiculous. We ran out here thinking that there were more enemies, but there's not. I think it's just this dog and we're done. These healer boxes suck. Yeah, look at that. Hey, legendary. Come on. Let's see the numbers. Yeah, I think I got all the loot. I'm loving the movement speed with the modifiers, everything. Like, these modifiers, it's crazy. All right, there we go. Mission complete. Legendary capital with one directive. Hey, just got my weekly done. GG's, GG's. Let's see the in-game results here. Yep, GG's everybody. Come on, show me the numbers. I know I was doing some crazy numbers with the status, man. Crazy numbers. Come on with the pop-ups. Show me. Show me the money. Show me the money. There we go. Yo, 1.9 billion damage. 63 kills. Oh, man. Put this build together right now. Woo!